Consider this. 3 men serving life for their roles in a 2003 bus bombing in Haifa, Israel, are among those being freed in this exchange. While the fathers of teenage daughters killed in that attack tried to block their release. After a court hearing, though, they dropped their injunction request. One of them, Ron Kerman, joins me now via webcam from Haifa to talk about what you're feeling today when you see the people responsible for your daughter's death being freed.
Good evening. Frankly, I don't watch the Arab TV stations, and I'm trying to ignore what's going on the other side. As a matter of fact, today I was kind of keeping silence and not listening too much to the radio or to any other media, because it's, as you can imagine, very difficult for me. And one point, I'm very happy for the Shalit family to be reunited with their son. But on the other side, it's very difficult for me as a father to understand that my country did not take justice to its fullest extent and free those terrorists. And unfortunately, this brings a lot of questions, and as an Israeli, and a lot of hard feelings.
I know this is a difficult day for you, but just remind us what happened, what the incident was that took your daughter's life.
Well, on March 5th, 2003, Hamas terrorists boarded bus number 37, filled with school students from 7 different schools, and at 2 p.m. and 14 minutes exploded himself, killing 17 people. 9 of them were kids, and injuring over 40 more Israelis.
And viewers are seeing on the right of their screens footage from the aftermath of that attack. What will you do now? Are there other alternative options you're pursuing legally?
Well, actually, the terrorists were free today, and there's not much I can do. The only thing I can do, and this is one of the things that I've been working, is to hazard people around me and be ready for the next kidnapping. Because from my experience, this deal, which Hamas says is a victory, and I as an Israeli have to admit to their victory, is a big victory for them. 1,027 terrorists being freed is a threat to the civil population here in Israel. And this is also one of the question I've been asking Benjamin Netanyahu, how could he do it, as he was the spearhead of preaching for fighting terror, global terror. So actually what I want from my government is to take go into deep investigations to this incident, how it happened and how it evolved, and how did it happen that Israel had to surrender to the Hamas and not find any other solution to free Gilad Shalit.
A recent poll there in Israel suggested most people do actually support this prisoner swap in Israel. Did those results surprise you?
No, they don't. But as you know, in the statistics, you can ask any question and get any results that you require. I think that most of the polls are, do you want to see Shalit free? And this is, eventually everyone wants to see Shalit free. Another thing is, if you touch at this point, is that the Israeli people did not know exactly what did all those terrorists do. And on Sunday, the list was released, and people were heard it and were devastated to hear which terrorists are on the list. And as a matter of fact, this is something that my friends and I appealed to the Supreme Court about 3 years ago to ask the censorship, the Israeli censorship, to release those names. Unfortunately, the court did not grant us the permission, and I am sure that if people knew exactly who those people are and what did they do, I don't think that the support would have been that swapping, as you mentioned. And again, I expect from my government to find a different solution to such a situation, except for surrendering, a total surrender to those terrorist demands.
Now, your daughter was just 17 years old at the time she was killed back in 2003. We have some images of you with her. What will be then your next step and approach?
Well, I'm lucky to have two good friends, which unfortunately we all lost our kids on the bus. And ever since this attack, we've been working mutually and we set some goals. The next goal is what I just mentioned, that we will demand the government to prepare and set a set of fixed rules how to use, how to deal and resolve such cases in the future, which unfortunately I expect them to come in the near or the middle future. Such a deal gives only a morale boost to the terrorists, and no one in the world will be able to convince me that this is an efficient war against global terror.